It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Dementia Alliance International. We are introducing dementia briefly, purely to highlight the importance and future significance of this group. Dementia is a syndrome, usually of a chronic and progressive nature, in which there is deterioration in cognitive function. It affects memory, thinking, orientation, comprehension, calculation, learning capacity, language, and judgment. Consciousness is not affected. The impairment in cognitive function is commonly accompanied and occasionally preceded by deterioration in emotional control, social behavior, or motivation. Dementia is caused by a variety of diseases and injuries that primarily or secondarily affect the brain, such as Alzheimer's disease or stroke. Alzheimer's disease makes up between 50 and 60% of approximately 100 types of dementia. There is often a lack of awareness and understanding of dementia. This results in stigmatization and barriers to diagnosis and care. The impact of dementia on caregivers, family, and societies can be physical, psychological, social, and economic, and is significant. It is not a normal part of aging, although it affects more people over the age of 65. A diagnosis of dementia under the age of 65 is referred to as younger onset dementia. As of 2013, there were an estimated 44.4 million people with dementia worldwide. This number will increase to an estimated 75.6 million in 2030 and 135.5 million in 2050. Much of the increase will be in developing countries. Already 62% of people with dementia live in developing countries, but by 2050 this will rise to 71%. The fastest growth in the elderly population is taking place in China, India, and their South Asian and Western Pacific neighbors. There are 7.7 million new cases of dementia each year, implying that there is a new case of dementia somewhere in the world every 4 seconds. As people diagnosed with dementia and founders of this new global group, Dementia Alliance International is an important step towards full inclusion and autonomy through self-advocacy and education.
Thanks, Jan. Dementia Alliance International is the first global group of, by, and for people with dementia where membership is comprised exclusively of people with dementia. Another advocacy group, DASNY, was the first organization set up by people with dementia. However, their membership is no longer exclusive to people with dementia. Dementia Alliance International advocates for the voice and needs of people with dementia and provides a forum for them of their own. In the last few years, the voices of people with dementia around the world have become stronger, led by some trailblazers, including Richard Taylor and Christine Bryden. More recently, a number of people with dementia have been discussing things globally, finally sowing the seed for this group to ensure issues such as social isolation, discrimination, stigma, and exclusion are addressed. We wanted to start a group using the vast global networks of people with dementia, now speaking and collaborating with each other over the internet through blogs, Twitter, Facebook, and other social media. Dementia Alliance International was established in January 2014 to promote education and awareness about dementia in order to eradicate stigma and discrimination and to improve the quality of lives of people with dementia. It is with great pleasure I now introduce the board members and the founding members of Dementia Alliance International. They will each tell you who they are, why they became involved as founding members, and what their dreams are for Dementia Alliance International. First of all, I'm John Sandblom, currently serving as one of the co-chairs of the board. I had begun an online support group exclusively for people with dementia a couple of years ago, and this is kind of the culmination of a lot of dreams I have on creating a very large network of people living with dementia to not only advocate, but support each other and improve quality of life. Jan?
My life has had many ups and downs, with times of change and times of stability, but nothing in life prepared me for the doctor telling me that I had a terminal illness.
I'm participating in a webinar.
Sorry.
I was very fortunate to have a 20-plus year career as a social worker and as an advocate. It has helped me to live well with dementia. And now with Dementia Alliance International, I can help spread that through a pattern to others with dementia. These first 3 months with DAI have been quite an experience. I compare it to bungee jumping. You don't know where you're going to land, but you have the confidence you're going to land. I've enjoyed this time. I was having problems with withdrawal, isolation, and apathy, and there's nothing like starting a global organization to kind of get you out of that shell. Each of us each of us diagnosed have that speaks still inside, that spark still inside us. Some just need help rekindling it. Thank you.
Sue?
Sue, yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I am Sue Stephen. I live on the far west of Canada in Victoria, and I developed. I was looking at my mother as a caregiver. She had Alzheimer's, and just after she passed away, about 3 months later, I was diagnosed with something called PCA, posterior catalytic. Posterior posterior cortex atrophy. Despite a horrible name, nobody knew anything much about it here at all, and I had to do all my research. And in doing that research, I came across a wonderful group in London, and they have supplied me ever since in the last 2 years, or a year and a half, with wonderful information, because that's the only place that it's really being studied, and support. And so for me, it was a waking up about how powerful we can use these computers and online things to break down the feelings of isolation and get information moving. So I'm very happy to be part of it and do what I can.
Thank you, Sue. Dina?
I'm Dina Gotson, and I am just actually thrilled to be a part of the starting of this group, and it's given me such a sense of purpose that I was lacking after being diagnosed, that it's priceless. So there.
Yeah, thank you, Dina. Steve?
Yeah, I'm Steve Conant. I too have been diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease approximately 3 years ago. I've been an advocate since the day I was diagnosed, working with everything that I am to bring awareness and break down the barriers and the stigmas that are associated with dementia. I was honored to be a part of To Whom I May Concern early on, and I learned to use my voice in that and met these wonderful people, and we are collaborating to do something to make a difference in the world for people who are diagnosed.
Thank you, Steve. Richard, we're just kind of seeing the top of your head, though. Can you lean your camera down a little bit?
How's that?
That's getting better. Perfect. There we go.
I'm not half-witted. My name is Richard Taylor. I live in Houston, Texas. I was diagnosed about 10 years ago. I've been living with a slow-moving set of disabilities ever since then. About 8 years ago, I decided to stand up and speak out to myself and to others. And I found a new purpose to my life in doing that. Represents high watermark in my new purpose in life, meeting these wonderful people. And it has convinced me that we are headed in the right direction. And I can't tell you how pleased I am to be a part of it. Kate?
Thank you, Richard. And Kate.
Hi, everyone. I'm from Adelaide in Australia. I was diagnosed about 5 years ago, age 49. I have to say, not even working as a trained nurse in aged and dementia care went any way to preparing me for what a diagnosis of dementia would be like. I've been, Richard Taylor is still one of my mentors, and perhaps is the reason I started speaking out, and I continue to advocate strongly for people with dementia to continue with their pre-diagnosis lives and to stay engaged and to focus on well-being and to live as well as they can. This group perhaps has been the culmination of one of my many dreams, and I'm really proud to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate, and thanks to the entire board. We are made up of membership exclusive to people living with a confirmed diagnosis of dementia. It is managed by the board, who are currently also founding members. We have a growing circle of friends where membership is also exclusive to people with dementia, who will work on projects to support our members, such as educational material, fundraising, and so on. Membership flows from here, with 2 other groups to support our work and vision. Laura Bowley, a person without dementia, is currently our first advisory council member and continues to volunteer a considerable amount of her time and skills to support our work. Thank you, Laura. We really do appreciate it. The advisory council also includes Pat Stacy Cohen of the USA, Maureen Matthews, also of the USA, and Jill Phillips of the UK. We seek further membership. These groups are in development as we grow our networks and build on membership and financial support. Finally, we do need other supporters by our side to advocate for us, to work with us, and to assist with funding. Like any organization, we cannot do it alone. Sue?
So who are we really? Dementia Alliance International is a group of people who have comprised of people with dementia and living all over the world. We support and sorry, from the world. I am present. Okay, report. Sorry, Dementia Alliance of people living with, and around the world. We represent, support, educate, and it is an organization that provides unified voice, strength, advocacy, and support in the achieving of individual autonomy. DAI is dedicated to advocacy and support of people with dementia. DAI is made up of real people diagnosed and living with dementia. We are dementia, excuse me. We are, sorry, dementia, I mean with dementia. We are, dementia. We are, access. Okay, no longer will we accept the continued absence of people with dementia from the decision-making processes of the conferences and the places where people are discussing things that have impact on the impact of our everyday life. Everyday life. Our vision is a world where people with dementia continue to be fully valued. In terms of our values, we've had a lot of discussion of it, and of course the core piece that is we are looking for is value. Unfortunately, in the modern world, when you use value, the word value, it tends to be measuring wealth, power, and things like that. In our world, we look at the word of value and we use it as a measure of humanity. We aim to produce communities which use equality, respect, inclusiveness, listening to people, and listening to people, and friendship, and it's very different. So that is our measure, and we are determined to do this. And we will persevere until every person with dementia is secure with their own value.
Thank you, Sue. Dina.
Our mission is to build a global community of people with dementia that collaborates inclusively to provide support and encouragement for people with dementia to live well, to model to other people with dementia and the wider community what living well and living with purpose with dementia looks like, to advocate for people with dementia and build the capacity of people with dementia to advocate for themselves and others living with the disease, and to reduce the stigma, isolation, discrimination of dementia, and enforce our human rights around the world. We are different because we offer a unique voice and viewpoint of, by, and for people with dementia, because membership is exclusive to people with a diagnosis of dementia. As a group, we are committed to change by promoting connections and dialogue between people with dementia and the wider community, combating isolation and exclusion of people with dementia, providing opportunities for support and education for people with dementia, promoting a shared sense of living well with dementia, working to ensure that the voices of those with dementia are listened to and honored, and working with other organizations and with governments to create change in issues and policies that currently affect our human rights, the recognition of dementia as a disability, early diagnosis, that dementia is recognized as a terminal illness, and for the best long-term care options to be available to us.
Steve?
talk about. That's a real, and we didn't let him talk.
It's muted.
The stigma, and more. We are able to build upon the existing community of people with dementia on the internet, and our job now is to reach beyond the internet and get the news out. Although we have only been in existence for 3 months, we have been able to accomplish a lot by building upon the existing skills and services of our board members and with their connections to people who are providing some of the services. Our current services include a website, a quarterly newsletter called The Advocate, an online support groups, a Meeting of the Minds webinar, an online memory cafes, and a Connection to Whom I May Concern, an interactive theater project run by Maureen Matthews, in which a number of our members have been involved. Our website is evolving, as are the services and support we provide. Please sign up to our mailing list and newsletter to be kept up to date.
Exclusive. Only people with dementia.
We have to the professionals and medical community, we would like to say we have a voice and we are wanting to advocate for ourselves and enforce our human rights. We want to break down the myths and barriers. The real myth isn't that the disease doesn't exist or that we have no capacity. It's that people don't all fit into a box. Everyone with dementia is unique in his or her own path. You can call Dementia Alliance International members as a resource. We are the real experts with the lived experience. We use hashtag dementia experts.
Thank you, Steve. Richard?
Our friends in the Alzheimer's and societies around the world. First, we acknowledge that you have a very important role to play in supporting us in our efforts and in supporting caregivers and in supporting research, both cure research and psychosocial research. We realize that much like us, people with dementia, each of you is unique to your own surroundings and your own experience. But we would say to all of you, please take the time to put the many faces and names of people with dementia in front of the general public, not just 1 or 2 names or faces. Please open your hearts, open your eyes and your ears. Feel with us the joy of every day that comes from living in today, living fully in today. Please listen to us. Please trust us. And most importantly, please involve us in your activities. Help us remove any prejudice or preconceived ideas that some of your members and certainly the general public might have about us. And finally, please refer newly diagnosed people to us. We can provide your individuals who have been living with dementia without a community, a true community, a model of community of people living well with dementia, so they too can feel that they can live well with dementia rather than simply die from us. Now, to the people with dementia, we offer you a community, a very special community of kindred, literally like-minded spirits and citizens. We have a lot to offer and a lot more in our pipeline, but it takes a community to create other communities. And we invite you to participate in that creation and be a participant in those communities. Plus, one of our board members came up with what we've come to call Sue's 3-step recovery program. When you join us, and with the support of our global community, you're encouraged to, 1, unlearn that you aren't worth anything. You are still worth what you were prior to the day before you were diagnosed. And to many of us living with dementia, you are worth even more than you were. Secondly, learn a lot and continue to learn. Learn not from people just who claim to be professionals and knowledgeable, but learn from people like us who are living with this. Because as previous speakers have said, we are the true experts, reluctant as it may be, on dementia. And lastly, turn yourself around and do it yourself, while at the same time you're teaching and supporting and enabling others.
Thank you, Richard. Kate?
I think you've gone too far with the slide, Laura.
I did? Whoops.
Yeah, so we'd like to say, as a community of people with dementia, to our caregivers and to other caregivers around the world, that we can answer many of your questions. Don't assume that we're feeling or wanting to be a certain way. Ask us first. Dementia Alliance International offers a sense of community for us, and I'm sure it will offer us a better quality of life, and therefore for you as well. Don't measure the quality of life experienced by the person you care for using the normal measures or standards. People with dementia need a purpose. I use the term for my husband or family caregiver as BUB, which stands for backup brain. So I use that term so that it doesn't marginalise me, and it allows him to offer me support without taking over. So I guess as a new group, a new global group, what do we see as our future? We realise that realising our vision, which is for a full voice and for full inclusion in the matters that affect us. So no longer nothing about us without us. We hope to provide educational material and support material to put together videos and booklets in the future. We hope to have a blog at some stage where it might have a weekly blog series. Obviously, we need to secure fundraising. We can't exist without funds, and we can't rely on people to volunteer permanently. We need to be able to attend conferences, the conferences that are about us, that matter to us. We would like to see that we receive speaker invitations to present at conferences and events. We hope to collaborate with all key stakeholders, so not just with each other. It's not just a support group. It's way beyond a support group. We want to collaborate with the medical community, with the researchers, with the healthcare providers, and with our family carers. We hope to work with the media to improve the language and the way that they portray us. Obviously, we hope to have paid staff in the future. And my goal is to, when you Google the word dementia, Dementia Alliance International will come up first. Thank you. So membership, as we have said, is exclusive to people with dementia. Family carers, professionals, service providers, researchers and the healthcare professionals are very welcome to join our newsletter mailing list and also to support us through donations. So please see the website www.dementiaallianceinternational.org.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever does. Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. Please support us with our endeavors. You can find us through our website and join us on Twitter and on Facebook. We look forward to collaborating with you all and to a meaningful dialogue with the key stakeholders of dementia, which now includes those of us living with it. Finally, we'd like to thank you for joining us today and open up this session for questions or comments. To start you off, what do you think DAI could do for your organizations or in your community?